trying to plan out a perfect weekend, being forced to take a woman out to a restaurant or cook a nice meal or buy some flowers just like everybody else because you just have to, or the relationship's going to go bad, or it's going to prove you don't love her. This is way better. I get to sit back and just watch the chaos. I get to watch men scrambling to hopefully please their wives and their girlfriends, and they're also hoping that they can get some customer service at the end of the night. It's crazy. I remember being stuck in that same stupid trap, being trapped by the idea that if you don't do well, if you're not a good boy, you don't get anything for Valentine's Day, or you don't get the thing that you care about the most. And at the same time, if you do care about getting customer service on Valentine's Day, then you're seen as a bad man. And you might not get it. You can do all these things. You're going to pay hundreds of dollars. You might empty your bank account. Like if some guys, a regular guy might be dumping out their last $200 to make their woman happy on Valentine's Day because they know this is what they got to do. They're taught to do it. We're taught to do it. This is why men, we're fake romantics. We don't do what we need to do. We only do what we need to do to make the woman fall in love with us. It's not because we're actually in love. We do what's necessary. And I can prove this to be true. It's not just me. It's plenty of guys that are like this. And I've heard this directly from a woman too. This is how I can confirm it. There was this woman I was talking to one time, and she was getting to the point where she was considering being serious with me. And she said, I just wonder sometimes, are men actually romantic? Because she said this last guy that I talked to, we talked for years, and he never really wanted to commit to me, but he did all the romantic things. He was doing everything that made it seem as if he even loved me. And she said, and I fell for it. She said, I think I got tricked by his gestures and the way he treated me to think that he liked me, but all he did was make me fall in love with him while he never actually fell in love with me. Then I started thinking to myself, you know what, I've done this before. I've done that to women, and sometimes it's actually been unintentional, but it's really more intentional than we think. Is because we're taught as men to do certain things in order to be seen as romantic. Doesn't mean we actually want to, and it doesn't mean that we actually like them or love them. Some women have figured it out, but most of the times it's still going to be hard for women to decipher if a man truly loves them or not, even with all these gifts and gestures. And I'll give you another example. Recently, there's a YouTuber. I don't know how many subscribers they got, but they were definitely really big on TikTok, like hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok, hundreds of thousands on YouTube. And this is a woman. She recently got broken up with by a guy, and she pretty much thought that this guy liked her. But what happens usually for us men, we know once we get what we want, we may stop that romantic stuff. We may stop the romanticism. And she got caught by that because guys are fake romantics. And it's hard for some women, even with this woman, she was a woman that gives like maybe a little bit of dating advice. She's more like a men's advocate. That's all I want to say. She's somebody that advocates for men on her channel, one of those type of women. And so it makes it seem as she understands men based on all the content she puts on her channel. But the truth is, as a woman, she still can't avoid being caught by the fake romantic man because you're never really going to know the difference. Like guys, we would never normally buy roses for a woman if movies and stuff didn't teach us to do it. And when you think about it, do you think a woman would have normally asked you to buy roses if they've never seen it on movie and TVs also? That's something for you to think about. Why do you think all these women really like flowers that much? Or are they taught to because it showed up to be romantic in a movie, or that's what a prince did in the movie. He left a rose or something, or he brought a rose to a woman. It it is really just how we're taught to be. And tomorrow, hopefully, you're not stuck in this trap, because I know married men have it the worst. And if you're one of those, you're watching this far so far. Trust me, I know where you're stuck at. Most of you, not all married men are stuck in this trap. But if I'm going to guess, we'll say 70%. About 70% of guys, you're stuck where you got to do the certain things, or your relationship's going to be bad. As a matter of fact, probably tomorrow. As a matter of fact, probably tomorrow, people are going to break up too. You're going to see the relationship either change on the 14th or the 15th, because some man is not going to live up to the woman's expectations. And that's what all us men are competing for in our relationships. If you're in one, I'm not in one right now on purpose, but that's what people are competing for, is to see if they're going to be a good enough boy tomorrow, because it's necessary to do what everybody else is doing in order to show you love your woman. And hopefully you don't get caught in this trap. If you are stuck in the trap, there's no way out until you make a decision for yourself, or maybe you enjoy it. If you do, then great. Another way to prove that men are fake romantics is how many guys you see buying Valentine's gifts and things literally on today, like February 13th. That's where you see most men buying stuff. Or if you work any specific businesses, in a hotel business or whatever, you see people booking rooms and stuff last minute. It's because they're just rushing to do what they think they need to, just so they can get some intimacy. And that's really what us guys are paying for around Valentine's. We're not really paying for the woman's love. We're paying to maintain the intimacy contract with the woman. And we're also hoping that we get that on that same day. So it really is fake. It's actually just like a business thing. Women know he's supposed to do this. Guys know I'm supposed to do that. And we're all just doing it because there's a day on the calendar that says we need to do it. So none of this is actually about love and romance, but that's what it's sold to us as. And the crazy thing about it is, if it was really all about romance and actual love, then how come relationships end if the woman feels like she isn't given the right gifts that she wants, or the guy didn't go to enough lengths to show his love? It's like, really, you gotta live up to a certain standard, or else you're gonna get axed. Or, and there's a lot of guys too that can't that actually break up with women before Valentine's Day, because they're smart. They realize it. But man, maybe I don't really love this woman, because if I did, I would be happy to buy something for her or plan this extravagant weekend. And I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to be broke, because we think about the average guy. Not every guy is going to have money already just waiting and saved up. We don't plan stuff super way in advance all the time. And so what some guys do is they'll break up with the girl. And women don't understand how they ended up with a breakup in January or the week of February. So like, people are breaking up right now. People are probably breaking up today, and the man's breaking up with her because he can't. It's probably really hard for him to just straight up say, you can't say, look, I don't want to spend Valentine's Day with you. I don't want to do all this fake stuff. Like, some guys will do that in order to avoid being the fake romantic on Valentine's Day. They'll just break it off with the girl, start a fight, do something wrong, cheat on purpose, things like that. These are all the things that happen around this time of the year, which is, that's why I say it's good to be single and just sit back and watch everything that's happening, because women are delightful enough to share everything on social media for you. So the women's Facebook pages are amazing right now. I actually saw last night too where a guy got trapped. If you didn't see my other Valentine's video, it didn't get that many views, but some women they try to get the buzzer beater last minute relationship during this month. There's a woman trying to secure a relationship right now at this moment. And I saw a woman on Facebook, her relationship status said it started February 11th. I said that's not a coincidence, right? It really isn't. It's planned. They're set up to make sure they have something to show on Valentine's Day. But yeah, so like I was saying, this woman secured a relationship on February 11th, and it's not a coincidence. She knew what she was doing, and I'm wondering, how did the guy fall for this? And the crazy thing about it, I've seen this woman single for years. I've seen her on dating apps. I've seen her on Facebook because, we got a lot of mutuals. She's been single for years, but somehow just randomly ends up in a relationship February 11th. It's not a coincidence, man. So I hope some of you guys aren't getting tricked with this. Like I said, I even made a warning video saying, hey, man, don't get caught up in this because they are going to try to get a relationship out of you. They're going to try to rekindle something or see what you're up to, big head. And so don't fall for it. But it's probably too late for most of you. It's just better to be single at this time of year and enjoy the entertainment of the fake roses, fake chocolates, who's going to break up, all this stuff, who's making these temporary relationships, because women need something to show off on social media too. Women closely tie this to their self-esteem and their self-worth, whether they have something to show on Valentine's Day, and they're stuck by the trap of social media. If a woman has social media, she's trapped to feeling like she needs to be able to show, hey, a man did something for me, so that means I'm valuable, I'm being loved by somebody. Even if they know it's not necessarily real, it's just still being able to say, I got something from somebody. It proves I have value. And some women have started to try to counterbalance this out by saying, you know what, since I know I'm not going to get anything, I know I don't have anybody, I got to prove that I love myself. So they'll do the opposite. Look what I did for myself for Valentine's, or look what me and the girls did for ourselves. And they just put a lot of emphasis on this day. So it's really all about women. It's not really about men. And men, we know it, but a lot of us, we just pretend. We play along with it, and a lot of guys don't. Sometimes guys don't play along with it. Like I said, they break up with women, or you do what I do. I make sure I'm not trying to start no relationships with you in January or nothing. Don't try to get close to me. I'm just not with it. And of course, you could go the route of, well, why don't you just tell her that you're not celebrating Valentine's Day? I mean, that doesn't work to maintain a relationship. Just be honest. We know that doesn't work. Like, you, but man, my girl, she'd be cool with it. They're never, no, they're not. They're never going to be cool with it. But either way, guys, enjoy your Valentine's Day weekend, whether you're single or not, or you're married, whatever. Hopefully, you get what you're looking for. You hope you get some good customer service. If you're paying these hundreds of dollars for it, you better get it, because what's all this for, man? We're really fake romantics.